now what I'd like to do is ask the three candidates for the Pataskala mayor's race to come up and have a seat so that we can continue on with the program. Just so everybody understands our order here, we did the treasurers first, the treasurers candidates for the city of Newark first. The second is the mayor's candidates for the city of Pataskala, and they're on their way, making their way up here. And then we will do the two candidates for the mayor's race in the city of Heath. Please come up, have a seat. Again, we determined the order before we started up here, and based upon that, for the opening remarks, we have three candidates. It's a nonpartisan race. We have Terry Beekman, who is a candidate, Mayor Stephen Butcher, who is running for re-election, and Michael Fox, who is running for office as well. The order for the introductions was determined to be Mr. Fox first, Mr. Butcher second, and Mr. Beekman third. So, Mr. Fox, you have 90 seconds to introduce yourself to the group.
How are you? I'd like to first start off thanking the Chamber and the Hopewell Credit Union and the Granville Inn and everybody that attended tonight. It's interesting to see so many people out here. When we have get-togethers in Pataskala, we don't get quite so much interest. So it's good to see this. I've lived in the city of Pataskala for 23 years. I've been married to my wife, Bernadette, who's sitting over here to the right, for 30 years. We have 3 adult children, Michael and his wife, Amanda, and our first granddaughter of 4 months now. I also have a daughter, Carla, and Mary Elizabeth. They're both either in or out or partway through nursing school out at COTC here in Pataskala and in Licking County. I've been a local business owner for 30 years in the Licking County area. I'm a graduate of Franklin University with a degree in public administration. I've been involved in city government for about 11 years now, 3 of it on the Planning and Zoning Commission, and 4 of it as an elected official on council, and 4 of it I've been on the outside looking in, staying heavily involved in the city. There's a lot of issues facing Pataskala, none of which is less important than the income tax and the funding that's going on in our city. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fox. Next, we have the introduction of Mayor Stephen Butcher.
Good evening, and thanks to our host. And I want to wish both my opponents, actually all 3 opponents, one's not here tonight, good luck in this upcoming race. Pataskala operates under weak mayor, strong council form of government. I don't vote, and I can't veto legislation. I only vote when there's a tie. The duties of the mayor certainly include attending events as a representative of the city, so it's important that the city has someone who can work with area leaders and developers. 4 years ago, I got us involved, and we stayed involved with key people around Central Ohio and Newark. I've transferred the mayor's phone to my cell phone. I don't have to return many calls because I take them in the first place. We had our first state financial audit that had no findings or citations, and we've halved our workers' compensation premiums and reduced our skyrocketing health insurance. We've currently instituted an employee policy manual, handbook, and do job evaluations. And we successfully increased the number of grants that we've captured and replaced 4 of our 5 bridges, are going to be repaving Taylor Road and installing storm drainage and new walks while utilizing safe routes to schools. Our Job Ready site is to bring jobs and tax revenue that suddenly doesn't come all the time from property tax to the residents. I don't support a pay raise for mayor of council, and I don't treat this as a part-time job, and I will continue to work hard trying to make a difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Butcher. Mr. Beekman.
Well, I've more or less grown up close to Pataskala. It was Lima Township, road number 38, and pretty much Pataskala all my life. I mean, close to Pataskala. What was it? I forget exactly what year Pataskala took over Lima Township, but actually Lima Township, now it's called Columbia Road Southwest, is where I grew up, which Pataskala mayor's position really is concerning with like your ditches for the water running, maybe sewage. It's more about mowing weeds. Used to be tar and chip on the roads. Now these things I know about. I physically worked in concrete, the manholes and stuff. Most of my life worked construction work. And that's what really the smaller city of Pataskala, it's not like Columbus, Ohio, suit and tie mayor's position like Mayor Mike Coleman's. It's more dealing with your flow lines. I studied flow lines of ditches and sewage and stuff. We got well educated in those kind of matters.
Thank you, Mr. Beekman. We'll go on to the first question. We all know that cities and all municipalities are facing funding problems. And so the first question relates to funding, and it is, do you support an additional income tax and or any type of a property tax to help fund government services in Pataskala, and why or why not? The first question goes to Mr. Butcher first.
I have a history of supporting an income tax. The Job Ready site is a partnership with a multitude of agencies, including the City of Newark, where it will have an income tax on any of the jobs that locate at that industrial site. I support an income tax for some pretty basic personal beliefs, and one of them is that I don't like the idea of taxing people's property, especially this kind of environment where the jobs are disappearing. Talked to a young family the other day that they didn't have a problem paying taxes. What they had a problem was he lost their job and now have half the income. And the question was, with a property tax, there's no relief. With an income tax, they would get the relief until they're both employed again. So I have a long history. The issue of an income tax and property tax, as I mentioned before, the mayor doesn't vote unless there's a tie. And as long as if the council would have elected to put a property tax on the ballot this time, I would have supported that as long as it wasn't a permanent property tax. It was council's decision, and whatever way they went, that was where I was going to go, because we're critically at a critical moment where we're probably, if we don't find a funding mechanism, looking at the sheriff's office to take over police protection for the city.
Thank you, Mayor Butcher. Is this on? Mr. Beekman, again, the question is additional income tax or property tax to fund government services. Do you support? Why or why not? 90 seconds.
What makes Pataskala unique is there is no income tax, and I think they should keep it that way. Now, property tax has to be reasonable, just and fair, because you cannot just extort money from property owners because they built a nice home or got a lot of property. But the income tax for Pataskala, if there's some way to get the people pay taxes outside that work outside Pataskala, such as Columbus or wherever they work, get a percentage of that back into Pataskala. But that makes it unique. Very few states no longer have a no income tax like Pataskala.
Thank you, Mr. Beekman. Mr. Fox.
Yes, I have proposed or opposed the present income tax in the format that it's in. One, it is not adequate to produce enough funds for the city of Pataskala to operate its police department for the next 2 years, let alone the police department and street department. In addition to that, the property tax, the city of Pataskala presently, the average medium income in the city of Pataskala is $54,000. The average home tax evaluation in the city of Pataskala is $150,000. Of that amount, the city of Pataskala, with the $7 million proposed property tax that was on the ballot, would have raised the average home about $90 a year, would have given us more money for streets, more money for police, more money for streets than we've ever had, and at least substantially the same amount of money for the police department. In addition to that, Mr. Mayor, you neglected to state that you've lobbied against the proposed $7 million levy. Besides that, when you do the simple math, at a 1%, which is what most people in the city of Pataskala will pay, they will pay $540 a year, and I think that's what people are down to right now. They want to pay the least amount for the most amount of services that they can get, and I think $540 compared to $321 is quite a bit more, and I think that most people in the city of Pataskala would, at this time and for a number of years to come, prefer the property tax